Hello guys, how's it going? AlexTheGrumpyOne here. Today we got another video on the Toyota Supra. So this is my mate Sam's car. This is NAT, and today we're gonna be working on the rear brake system. So we're taking the rear calipers, discs, carrier, and also adjusting the handbrake. We're gonna be upgrading it to the twin turbo calipers that we got here. As you can see, they've been freshly refurbished, so looking really good. We're also fitting new genuine Toyota discs, and we've got the pads as well to fit. So I'm going to show you today how to do all of that, and also in one of my videos I will be showing you how to bleed the brake system. I can't bleed it today because I'm still waiting for the front calipers. So I'm just going to get the wheels off quickly. So just to explain quickly what we got here. So you already got upgraded brake hoses that go in there. So this is a normal NA rear caliper that you can see there. So what we're going to do, obviously because we're replacing the caliper, I'm going to take the carrier off straight away with the pads still in there. We're just going to slide it off. Then obviously first we need to undo the brake hose and let it bleed out, because there will be a bit of brake fluid. Although I've emptied the system from the front, you're still going to have a little bit of brake fluid here, so just be careful not to get on the paintwork. So we'll take all of this off, and then after that we'll be able to get discs off. Make sure that the handbrake is not on, obviously, because you got the shoes in there. We're going to clean them up, adjust everything, fit new discs on there, fit new caliper, connect the brake hoses. After connecting the brake hoses, obviously it will need to be bled. So the bleeding nipple, they're going to have a new caliper. But that's pretty much, you've seen my videos previously maybe on how to bleed the brake system. It's pretty similar. You start with the rear. So you bleed the brakes on the rear first, and then you bleed the front ones. Make sure you got no air in there. And depending on what tools you're going to use, if you're just using the vacuum one without the compressor, then you got some tools that I can recommend you. Or if you got a compressor, it's a bit easier, I can recommend you other tools as well. So we need first 40mm. Like I said, we're going to start by undoing the brake line that we got there and letting the fluid come out. So just make sure you get on it properly, because I've seen a lot of people rounding them off but not getting the span on there properly. You need to tap it a little bit, because they do get a bit seized up in there and they do create a bit of corrosion. That's what I'm saying, make sure it's on there. There you go, it's coming off now. So like I said, you will have plenty of brake fluid coming out of there, so make sure I got the tray, nice big tray under here. So you're going to catch all the brake fluid. You definitely don't want any of this stuff on your paintwork, because the brake fluid is really bad for that. If you do get it on any of your paintwork, please make sure you wash it off with water straight away. So you also got two copper washers here. I have got a kit with new copper washers, so that's all good. There you go. You got plenty of brake fluid coming out of there now. And like I said, if you look here, I'm going to show you now in the camera, you have got a couple of copper washers, one on each side. So there we are, hopefully you can see it. One on the outside, one on the inside. So make sure you keep that safe, and I do advise using the new copper washers. If you're just doing the pads, all you need to do is undo the 240mm bolts that you got here, and then you can slide the caliper off and replace your brake pads if that's what you're doing. But in my case, there's no point of just taking the caliper off and leaving the carrier on, because I need all of it to come off to replace the discs and fit the new calipers on. So I'm pretty sure they're either 17 or 19 in the back there. I'll let you know in a second. So just to show you at the back, we have got 17mm bolt there where I got the socket on already, and you also got one at the bottom there. It basically is similar places at the bottom, so that's what we're going to undo now. Right, so as you can see, I upgraded myself to a bigger bar because they are really tight. So yep, they're definitely tight on there. So like I said, two 17s, that's all that holds the carrier. You should be able to slide the carrier off. There we are. Obviously don't forget you have brake fluid in there as well. Obviously if you're not replacing the calipers, you're only doing discs and pads, you don't need to disconnect the brake line obviously. You keep it on there, and I usually use either cable tie and hang it on the spring, so you don't hang it on the actual brake line, because you don't want to stretch that or damage it. So that's that off. As you can see, the pads are in there. There's nothing wrong with the brakes, I just wanted to upgrade them. So at this stage, you can see the hole there that usually should be a rubber here to avoid all the dust getting in there. But at this stage, if you turn it, there is a adjuster. There's a little wheel inside that you can see through. Yeah, there it is, right at the bottom there. So you release basically the shoes, the handbrake. This way you need to make sure the handbrake is off. You release it, so the shoes basically go in, and then you just whack it a few times here. As you can see, there's quite a bit of corrosion around the hub, so you might need more than 1 or 2 whacks. While we're here, guys, I also would like to let you know this is how you adjust your handbrake if your handbrake is not doing very well. So basically through this hole, again, you get to the wheel that you can see through. You keep turning it, so basically all I'm doing is turning it up. That way, so that tightening it up, so basically the shoes have come out all the way out, so this ain't gonna move at all. So this is how you adjust it. So that's completely stopped, that won't move at all. All you do, go back in there and you basically turn the wheel. If you're looking this way, you're turning it down, so that should release it. So from this stage, I would turn it a few clicks, not many, if I get on the wheel. And then it starts turning again. So basically what you want to achieve is, you'll feel obviously the handbrake lever going up and down. You want to get about 5 clicks on there, around 5 clicks, you don't want more than 8. But yeah, usually I will go completely tight so you can't turn, and then release it probably 4 or 5 teeth, and then you can see that it starts moving. As long as it's not rubbing and not binding, you should be fine. And the same obviously on the other side. Like I said, it has got a crack, but it should be fine. I need to clean all this with a bit of sandpaper so it all sits nice and even on there. And obviously this is going to be quite tight to come off now, because I can see there's lots of corrosion there, unfortunately. But yeah, usually what you do is you grab a decent hammer and you smack it on the hub so it loosens up all the corrosion, and then you can take it off, especially if you're reusing the disc. If you're not reusing the disc, the best way to do it is putting one of the nuts back on, and you just whack it on the back of the disc till it comes off. Obviously, I suppose you understand why the nut is here, so it doesn't just fly off, and that will keep it on there. But yeah, just whack it, turn it, whack it, turn it, whack it, and it will release it. And that's what we're gonna basically do here today. So I'll move my camera back a little bit because I don't want to whack it as well. So here we are. There you go. Actually, it wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad at all. So get ready, because you're going to have shitloads of dust coming out from here. So obviously, if you haven't released the handbrake, you won't be able to pull it off like this. As you can see, all the dust in there. So just get rid of that. Now these discs, obviously as you can see, they got corrosion as well, so they probably were a bit noisy. So to be fair, they would need replacing, but we have got the new discs that are bigger for the new calipers. So as you can see, we've got the shoes, and looking at these shoes, luckily they're only for the handbrake, but there isn't really a lot left. So look at this, guys. As you can see, obviously this is the same as you got on your pads. So as you can see, there's a bit left in there, not much, but at the top it's going quite thin. So I'm going to advise Sam to get them done when we're doing next full service. It's not urgent, because literally this is just to hold the handbrake, so you have got a bit left on there. This side is a bit thinner, it usually always is. So at the top, very thin line, but you still got a bit in the middle. But like I said, they are pretty worn, so I'll advise him to replace it soonish. So usually what you would do, you use a bit of sandpaper to sand it down a little bit so it's nice and even. You might have a lip sometimes, so sand both sides down. Then next thing, doesn't look like this ever been done, but next thing, you clean it with a brake cleaner, and then you put copper grease behind the contact points they got behind the shoes and in there as well. So all the bits that do move, apart from obviously the actual shoes, I usually put copper grease to avoid the noises and make it work a bit better, so it lasts longer as well, slides better. So I just pull that back, get a bit of copper grease in there on the contact point, the same here, the same at the top there. And you got contact points at the top as well here, behind there, so just get copper grease behind there, and the same at the bottom. So as you can see, that's the wheel that we were turning through the disc. It just goes through that hole, and you can get a screwdriver in there and turn it up or down. So let it all dry. Like I said, a bit of copper grease around the hub, and then on the points that I mentioned at the top there. Right guys, so on the, obviously when you're going from an A to TT conversion, the carb, as you can see, already cut it, but I'll show you in a second how I've done it anyway. But you have to cut it a bit, the shield that you got behind the discs, because you can't get caliper or the disc on there. It comes out, obviously you can't really get the new one anyway, because, well, anyway, I couldn't find it, Sam couldn't find it anyway as well. So I had to cut it a little bit to make sure that the caliper does fit on there, and that the disc fits on there as well. I'm going to tidy it up a little bit because there's sharp edges everywhere, so I'm going to tidy it up, but that's what you have to do next. Right, so as you can see guys, and Sam, it's not exactly a Mona Lisa here, but it looks pretty good. I've took care of all the sharp edges, so that's all good. What I've used, some cutters, because obviously it's not that thick, and obviously there's quite a bit of corrosion there as well, but anyway, so we're not painting it today, but I'm pretty sure this is something that we're going to do in the future. Give it a bit of, probably when we're doing the shoes. Pliers, just to straighten it all up. File, sandpaper for the edges, and I had to cut a little bit there, had to bend that in a little bit there as well, so the caliper sits in. So what we're going to do now is try the discs, which should be nice and free on there. Right. Plenty of space. I can actually bend it in a little bit more, so obviously adjust it to your liking, as long as it's not rubbing on it. That's perfect, so it's looking good. And just to show you, obviously for the caliper purpose, I had to bend that a little bit in and that, but as you can see, that fits on there spot on, so looking good. So there you are, Sam, hope you're happy. Obviously the bolts will go in the back and the pads slide in afterwards in there. So at this stage, everything's greased up, clean. I'm gonna put the disc on and bolt the caliper on, and then we can fit the pads. Right, so I cleaned the disc with the brake cleaner, but I have to clean it again afterwards anyway. Right, so that's on there. Obviously don't forget, you will have a hole at the bottom afterwards to adjust your handbrake, like I've told you before. I usually put the wheel nuts back on, just to literally hold the disc on there, nice and even. Now on the caliper, I'm gonna replace 2 copper washers that we got here. I bought a new kit. I'll put that in link in the description below for the universal kit they can get for them. And obviously we need to connect the line into it, and then we got our bleeder to bleed it through once we finished all the work. So as you can see, got 2 new washers there, and the bolt, just to let you know straight away, the bolt that's in TT caliper is a bit wider in the end. The thread is the same, but it's a bit wider on this part where the hole is than the NA ones, so you might need to be better fitted. You might need to get a bolt that actually fits the TT calipers. So I'm going to clean it up quickly, and that will seal better as well, so you haven't got any build up on there. There we are, much better. Well, I'm going to put the torque in description below for the bolts, so that's fitting in there properly, looking good. The disc so far is free as well, it's not hitting the caliper or anything, obviously as it should. So now obviously don't forget to clean this up as well, so you got no build up or rust. And then obviously bend it, make sure it's not kinked anywhere or it's not twisted. 1 wash on that side, 1 wash on this side. I must admit, I am loving these Draper spanners that I got myself. If you guys are after them, they're brilliant, feels amazing, the quality is good as well. So that will definitely be in the link in the description below if you're after a set. Right, next step will be to clean the sliding pins in that hold the pads in, and also make sure that the holes are nice and clean for the lock tab to go in there. Right, well they're not perfect, but they're definitely clean and they're sliding in there properly. Right, so now we've got the pads to put in, the clips and the locking pins. So on the pads I usually put a bit of copper grease on there. I know, as you can see, the pads are not brand new. This is the pads I've been given to fit in here. They got plenty of life left on them. Just sending them off so they're nice and even going in there. There ain't gonna be no issues. Our nice clean pins. Get them in there. Make sure the holes are facing out. Start these ones up, and then obviously we have to put that in there. Do the top one first. And then that goes in there. We got our clip that sits in there like that and looks into the pins, so I need to get my hand in there. Look that through there, in there, and through our pin. There we are. So that obviously will lock the pins so they don't come out, so the pins are nice and safe in there. Once it's all back together, obviously don't forget guys that you will need to adjust the handbrake. As you can see guys, nice finish, looking good. It's all on there now, everything's done up. Like I said, torque settings in the description below. The clips are in, everything's nice and free. So yeah, really happy with this, looking really good. So I hope Sam's gonna be happy as well. Definitely good upgrade from the NA calipers. The looks and obviously the performance is definitely much better now. Right guys, so here we are, it's all on there, it's looking really good. I'm really impressed actually, it's nice. Obviously you got new discs, new caliper, nice finish on it as well. Fit on there, spot on now, obviously yeah, a few modifications. Like I said, if you guys know where to get the back covers, I've tried main dealer, I've tried the Google and etc. and contacted a few companies. I couldn't get the rear ones. You can get the front ones apparently, but you can't get the rears. Don't know why, obviously discontinued it I suppose. But yeah, if you know anyone, please do comment below, let me know. Because I'm pretty sure Sam will get that and then we'll replace them. But I think next time when I'm doing his shoes, we'll probably take it all off and clean it up, because there's a little bit of corrosion. Clean it all up and then probably paint it so it lasts a bit longer. But yeah, really good, looking fine. Obviously like I said, the handbrake adjustment I showed you earlier in the video. I'm not doing the bleeding because I still got the other side to do, and I got no front calipers at the moment, so there's no point in bleeding the system. But yeah, afterwards I will be doing that. But yeah, really happy with it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please comment below, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Have a good day. Bye.